Hello guys, welcome back to our anime moments. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of BTTH The Flame Emperor Part 31 based on novel. So let's start. Have you been conditioned? The Golden Dragon King also obviously found that Xiao Yan had withdrawn from the cultivation state and turned his head to ask. Yeah. Saying that, Xiao Yan also got off the bed and walked towards his master, the Golden Dragon King. Master, you are hesitant to say anything. Do you have something on your mind? Xiao Yan walked up to his master, the Golden Dragon King, poured him a cup of tea and said, I didn't want to tell you what I didn't want to tell you, but the kid with the sword also said something before, so I'll tell you more carefully. The Golden Dragon King also took a sip of the tea ceremony. Yeah. Xiao Yan was also quite happy about this. Although Wang Zhong said something about Xian San, how could what Wang Zhong said be as well informed as his master Jinlong King? Human beings are primates of all things. Although they are inferior in physique to monsters, they are superior to primates with wisdom. In the ancient times, your human ancestors, in order to pursue the idea of longevity, countless generations of wise people went forward one after another, devoting a lifetime of energy, studying hard, and constantly improving, and finally created a way to cultivate vindictiveness. That's how you practice fighting Qi today. I have to say that you humans are really smart and know how to seek advantages and avoid disadvantages. In ancient times, the status of human beings was only slaves, allegiance to all kinds of ancient powerful beasts, but in your human beings with hard work, you can understand some of the creations of the world, master the tyrannical power as a mortal, and use the power of various secret treasures and powerful weapons to shock the sky. Status. But so far, no one dares to know for sure about immortality in the true sense, but there are some peak powerhouses who stand on various continents. A long life with the same life as heaven and earth. On the Do-D continent, the vast expanse is boundless. In addition to humans and monsters, there are also some unknown wild places. Most of the wild places are dangerous with mountains and rivers, many ferocious beasts and birds of prey, and many evil miasma poisons. There are countless unknown monsters and ghosts hidden in it, cultivating the body in the place where the sun and flames are hidden in order to transform into a human form. Therefore, there are innumerable mysteries vaguely hidden on the Do-D continent. Among them, there are many people, Buddhas, Taoists, demons, monsters, and ghosts. They can tolerate and fear anything. It's just these supernatural things that are mainly formed by cultivation. Often hidden in the mountains and rivers, it is not known. The Golden Dragon King also took a sip of tea and said. Xiao Yan was also surprised when he heard the words. Obviously, he did not know such important news, and it was not difficult to hear from the words of his master, the Golden Dragon King, that in addition to humans and monsters, there were many mysterious places and cultivation practices on Do-D continent. Way. Humans, Buddhists, Taoists and demons, monsters and ghosts. However, the cultivation methods of these monsters, ghosts, and monsters are the same. After all, they are all based on cultivation in human form. What I want to tell you is also related to this. The so-called Dakian world is a 7-point Dakian. It's divided into 7 realms. They are the human realm, the Buddha realm, the ***** realm, the demon realm, the ghost realm, and the heaven realm. The Golden Dragon King also said, isn't it the great 1,000 worlds? How could it be transformed into the 7 worlds? Xiao Yan's pupils shrank tightly upon hearing this. In those ancient times, it was indeed divided into 1,000 worlds, but now there are some powerful enough powerhouses born in the 7 worlds. They broke through the current plane, gathered together and made an oath, so they separated their respective the world is unified. It's said to be unification, but in fact it's just drawing enough power of belief from the lower realm to make them follow the rumored battle god realm, but how can the Do god be so easy to achieve? In other words, the Do-D continent can be regarded as a branch of the human world. Each world is composed of 3 planes with countless upper, middle, lower, and third planes. The Do-Chi continent where you and Tuo-Shi are located can only be regarded as a lower plane at best, and this Do-D continent is enough to be called an upper plane. The Golden Dragon King also said solemnly. Xiao Yan was also dizzy when he heard this. Obviously these things exceeded his understanding, and he immediately rubbed his forehead with his hands. It's still too early to tell you this, but I just want to remind you that the Xiao clan you belong to has provoked a lot of enemies, and you also have the blood of the Xiao clan flowing in you, so your responsibility is becoming more and more important. Moreover, Tuo Shi and I also have a feud with some old monsters in the 7 realms. The Golden Dragon King said. His eyes became deep. Xiao Yan also stared blankly at his master Golden Dragon King. Obviously, he had never seen such an appearance since he met his master Golden Dragon King. Hey, really? I remembered something unpleasant. The Golden Dragon King also suddenly smiled at Xiao Yan. Master, you don't have to worry too much. You are a teacher for one day and a father for a lifetime. Xiao Yan also said softly. When the Golden Dragon King heard the words, he wanted to say something in Du, but he saw that Xiao Yan suddenly had a different feeling in front of him. This feeling is exactly the same as that of the fledgling Tuo Shi. You kid. Don't worry, Tuo Shi, your disciple is also my disciple, and I will definitely pass it on. The Golden Dragon King also said in a voice that could only be heard by himself. In a distant space, there is a huge hall. The hall is splendid, with many seemingly expensive jewels, and 7 beads support the entire hall. On the seat of the splendid Golden Hall Master, a seemingly weak woman was sitting quietly with her eyes closed. What's up? Are you uncomfortable again? Said a blond man walking towards him. I'm fine. Since the World Master retreated, I always feel like someone is spying on us. The woman also showed a seductive smile. Who is it? You're actually spying on the secrets of my human world. The blond man also shot a ray of light from his eyes and shouted loudly while staring into the distance. After swept away to no avail, his eyes softened again, and then he gently picked up the woman sitting above the master. Just as he was about to walk, a red figure appeared out of thin air. Deputy World Lord. The big thing is bad. Someone from the Xiao family in the immortal cage has escaped. The blond man's original soft eyes also seemed to have undergone a major change. Tilda instantly revealed a fierce light. Damn. Isn't it asking you to keep watch at any time? Give me all the power to move the human world. The people of the Xiao family must find it, otherwise. The blond man said that he didn't continue talking here. Yes. The red figure was also in a cold sweat when he heard the words, but the reputation of this Deputy World Master is. The World Master said before the retreat that the people of the Xiao clan would not be imprisoned so easily. What are you going to do now? The woman also blinked and looked at the blond man. I have my own way, the blond man said. What's the matter with you? The Xiao family is not so easy to deal with. Moreover, there seem to be some people on Do Chi continent who broke through Do Di and promoted to Do Di continent. Don't you need to send someone to encircle and suppress them? The woman also muttered to herself. However, merely Do Di I can kill it with my hand. Now it's better for Xiao to go after the fleeing Xiao clan. This Xiao clan is really dead. The blond man also said viciously, then put down the beauty that was like glue in his hand, and hurriedly left the hall. Master, don't worry, I won't let you down. Xiao Yang also said imposingly. Hearing this, the Golden Dragon King looked at Xiao Yang's scorching eyes, but also felt relieved and sipped his tea carefully. Suddenly the body of the Golden Dragon King's soul state flickered violently. Rather than saying that the Golden Dragon King was originally a body in a state of soul, it is better to say that the mark on the Golden Dragon King's finger flickered and dimmed. Although Xiao Yang didn't know the body of the Golden Dragon King, he also knew from the passage that the Golden Dragon King's strength was definitely extraordinary, so the Golden Dragon King in the soul state did not have the shape of a dragon, but was just like ordinary people. The Golden Dragon King's originally relieved eyes also shrank his pupils tightly, and then he stared at the light mark on his palm. This light mark. I remember that it was an agreement between me and them before they were caught. As long as this light seal lights up, the Golden Dragon King can capture their specific location. Could it be that they escaped? The Golden Dragon King also seemed to have seen something and then said in a voice that could only be heard by himself. because the imprint on the Golden Dragon King's hand now is impressively possessed by the Dragon Clan, and can sense each other's light imprint at the specific location, but Xiao Yan doesn't know that. Is the position of the light seal constantly moving? It seems that I will meet them later. But Xiao Yan, this kid has to be tight, otherwise this strength is. After thinking about it, the Golden Dragon King regained his composure, but Xiao Yan could find that his master, who used to be listless in the past, is now in the eyes. There is actually a trace of excitement that is difficult for ordinary people to detect. Master, are you all right? Xiao Yan obviously didn't know the light seal on his master's Golden Dragon King's hand, so he could only ask. It's all right, it's just that his power has recovered a little bit. The Golden Dragon King also made a random excuse to fool him. I will pay close attention to the matter of refining the body. Although Xiao Yan found out that his master, the Golden Dragon King, was different, he didn't have enough strength, and the master wouldn't talk about it, so he didn't make fun of himself. The matter of refining the body is not in a hurry. The most urgent task now is to find a way to cultivate spiritual power, so that you can start to learn the accomplishments of a battle formation master. One more thing is, since it's going to Xiantian 3 days, then we have to try to find that holy flame. The Golden Dragon King also said slowly. Hearing this, Xiao Yang was also overjoyed. The holy flame was undoubtedly more powerful than the strange fire in his body, and at the same time, it was more rare. If Xiao Yang were to find it alone, it would undoubtedly be like finding a needle in a haystack. But fortunately, his master, the Golden Dragon King, knew about one of the holy flames, and that holy flame was located within Xian Santian. After you pass the test and join the super sect, you will start working. Until then. The Golden Dragon King looked at Xiao Yang with interest and smiled. Master, shall I join that super sect? Is it still burning incense pavilion? Hearing that, Xiao Yang also asked. After all, these 9 super sects are quite powerful, and for some reason, Xiao Yang can always feel that his master, the Golden Dragon King, must be with someone within the Xiantian 3 days. There is some inevitable relationship between denominations. Fenxiang Pavilion is a very special sect. It is different from other sects. Other sects mainly focus on cultivating fighting qi or puppet skills, but this Burning Incense Pavilion focuses on cultivation, supplemented by cultivation and cultivation of mind. For this, the disciples admitted by the Fenxiang Pavilion are divided into 2 types. One is the outer disciple, who learns qin, chess, calligraphy and painting, the 4 books and 5 classics, poetry and music. The second is the inner disciple, who learns fighting qi and fighting skills, and becomes a real powerhouse, slaying demons. In addition to the demons, the peace of the party is guaranteed. Therefore, the disciples of the Fenxiang Pavilion are not necessarily all cultivators, but the Fenxiang Pavilion is famous regardless of whether it is an inner or outer disciple. I mean, the Golden Dragon King. Yeah. Xiao Yang's eyes lit up. It was obvious that what his master Jin Longking said was much more detailed than what Wang Zhong said. But Shizu, what about slaying demons and eliminating demons? Xiao Yang also asked in doubt. There are some connections in the 7 realms, and even if someone manipulates them, they cannot cut off the connection in these 7 realms. And among these 7 worlds, the human world has the largest number. Therefore, the forces of the demon world, the ghost world, and the demon world are thinking about invading some planes in the human world to strengthen their own strength. So what I want to say is that there are some passages to the demon world, the ghost world, and the demon world in these Xian 3 days. Although it was sealed by the strong together 10,000 years ago, the power of the seal is getting weaker and weaker now, so you have to be more careful. King Jinlong said. Yeah. Hearing this, Xiao Yang also became serious. Obviously he had never dealt with so-called ghosts and demons. The only entrance to the devil world in Xiantian Santian is at the bottom of the Wansha River, which is very dangerous. The Wansha River is full of monsters, all of which are very powerful monsters. The cultivation base is so high that it is not an exaggeration to say that it is shocking. Since ancient times, some monsters in the demon world have broken into Zhuangtianshan several times, bringing endless blood to the upper plane of Zhuangtianshan, causing countless innocent deaths, and making the super powerhouses in Xiantian angry greatly. they joined forces, and finally forcibly drove the devil of the devil world back, and sealed the passage between the devil world and Xian Tian. Therefore, the legend of the demon world's invasion of Xian Santian has a history. The legendary ghost world is said to have its entrance in the ghost town of Shijiu, but it is very hidden. In the ghost realm, there are countless ghosts, resentful spirits overflowing, and the yin wind roars, which is very terrifying. Ordinary people will undoubtedly die as soon as they enter the ghost realm. Even if the ordinary Do Di Peak powerhouse enters, it is also more fortunate and less fortunate. It is the most vicious region in the world since ancient times. And the demon world is the gathering place of all the monsters in the world. There are countless monsters and beasts with profound cultivation bases. To put it in layman's terms, the monsters reach a certain strength, but they are promoted to the demon world. The demon world is also considered to be it is stable, rarely invades the human world, and generally does not communicate with the human world. It is said that there are very few people who know about the entrance of this space, so it is extremely mysterious. Among the 7 realms, the human realm is the main one. The 6 worlds other than the human world are actually 6 dimensions. In fact, they are only some specific dimensions. Compared to the human world, they are quite small. And every space depends on the human world to exist, and is connected with the human world. In fact, they all belong to the human world. It's just that there is an invisible barrier between them and the human world, which separates them and forms a unique space that is different from the human world. Hearing this, Xiao Yan was also surprised. The so-called extraterritorial evil race is this demon world. Master, some forces from the demon world and the ghost world dare to invade Xiantian Santian, so aren't they afraid of causing a 3-world war? No, you're wrong. The power of the demon world and the ghost world to invade the human world is only the mainstay, and the number of each world must be maintained on a balance, so this kind of invasion is also a way of survival of the fittest, so the control of the 7 worlds and it didn't interfere much with it. The real power at the top of the 7 realms checks and balances each other, so the 3 realms war is impossible. The Golden Dragon King also said slowly. Yeah. Xiao Yan also felt relieved when he heard the words, and then closed his eyes to recuperate. He was getting closer and closer to that Xian Santian, and he had to return to his peak period to deal with it. During this month, Xiao Yan has also been reclusive, and has been in seclusion in his room to adjust his state. After all, although he understands some of the rules of Xian Santian, it is always better for his strength to return to the peak, so that he can remain unchanged. Should change. Xiao Yang did not expect such a big after effect of the explosion of the clones condensed by using soul power before in Wucheng. It seems that in the future, using soul power to condense clones should be extra careful. Otherwise, if the power of the soul in the future damages the foundation, then not only will Xiao Yang's strength be stagnant, but even his medicine refining skills will be stagnant. At the level of Emperor Do, it is not surprising that a retreat can be as little as a few months, or as many as a few years. The 1-month period was also slowly coming to an end during Xiao Yang's retreat. Xiao Yang, who was still in seclusion in the room, also slowly exhaled, and then opened his only closed eyes. It's finally recovered. After he finished speaking, he felt that the energy in his body had recovered to its peak, and the power of his soul had also swept through his body. According to Xiao Yang's current estimation, his current strength is also at the peak of the 3-star Do Emperor, and he is only 1 step away from the 4-star Do Emperor. Master, the holy flame you mentioned. Hey. Xiao Yan has also been thinking about the holy flame that his master Jinlong King said was hidden within the Xiantian 3 days. Yang has evolved his own cultivation technique. Even though this heavenly rank cultivation technique is not trivial on the Do Chi continent, Xiao Yan can still feel the difficulty in Do Di continent now. If a battle is not resolved quickly, then if it drags on, it will only be Xiao Yan who suffers. You kid. The Golden Dragon King also laughed loudly when he heard that. During the almost a month of your retreat, I also tried to communicate with that holy flame, but I don't know why. It seems that I was blocked by an invisible force. The Golden Dragon King also pondered. Huh? Hearing this, Xiao Yang's eyes sank. If this holy flame was blocked by a layer of invisible power, then if he could still be blocked by the power of his master, the Golden Dragon King, that person's strength is also extraordinary. But you don't have to worry too much. Maybe the distance is too far, so the induction is a little weak, but don't worry, I can feel it, this holy flame is also an ownerless thing now. And your worries are superfluous. My current state of soul is less than 1/10 of my peak strength, so being blocked doesn't mean that person is strong, so this is normal. The Golden Dragon King also laughed. Xiao Yan also felt relieved when he heard the words, and then retracted the soul restraint he had arranged. The ferry boat was originally driving in the dark space passage, but after Xiao Yan opened his eyes, a ray of light slowly appeared. Feeling the dazzling brightness, Xiao Yan also put his eyes on him and muttered to himself, "Is it finally coming?" Huh? Just as his eyes were on the exit of the space passage, Xiao Yang suddenly felt an unprecedented strong fighting spirit from that bright place. Such a strong grudge was something Xiao Yang had never seen before. Feeling this situation, Xiao Yang also got up, then opened the window in the room and looked outside. The originally dark space channel also suddenly disappeared, and the birds, beasts and birds of the forest continent also appeared in front of Xiao Yang. It's really strong fighting spirit. However, why is this fighting chi different from what I had absorbed before? Xiao Yang's huge soul power also felt the abundant fighting chi of this land, and he said something strange after absorbing a little bit of it. It's better to say that it is Emperor's chi rather than fighting chi. Because these rich Emperor chi are specially designed for Do Emperor to absorb and cultivate, at the level of Do Emperor, it is quite difficult to absorb Do chi to increase his cultivation. It is even more difficult for the Emperor to break through the current state. That's why ordinary Do chi is like a drop in the bucket for Do di to absorb more, so this Emperor chi is undoubtedly much stronger than ordinary Do chi, and it is more suitable for Do di strong to absorb and cultivate. After all, this Emperor's chi is the greatest treasure known as the Do di rank. The Golden Dragon King also laughed. Hearing this, Xiao Yang also nodded. No wonder he couldn't be promoted to Do di in Do chi continent anyway. It turns out that a strong Do di must absorb Emperor chi. From this so-called Emperor chi is enough to the importance of the strong fighting Emperor. The so-called Emperor Chi also has another title on the Do Chi continent, the origin Chi of the Emperor. Wake up, get ready, it will be Xian Santian soon. Just when Xiao Yang was surprised by the Emperor's anger, a voice also entered their minds. The source of this voice is Hoodoo. When everyone heard that, they also packed up their belongings a little and then walked out one after another. Hoodoo saw that everyone appeared equally well, and he nodded with satisfaction. After all, when he was picking up the lead before, someone assassinated each other, which caused the task of his lead to fail. In half a day, we will arrive at Xian Santian. When the time comes, you will follow me to the destination of this reception. After speaking, he closed his eyes. I heard that we didn't go directly to Xian Santian. Before joining Xuantian sect, we have to conduct a test and selection. And the location of testing and selection is the end of our trip. Where are we going to meet countless other geniuses who are also from the Xianling continent? But I also believe that there will be a more exciting stage. Wang Zhong also said. Then let's see who will stand at the top of this trial. Sun Ming is also not weak at all. Wang Zhongdao Tilda can't ask for it. Xiao Yang also responded, obviously this will be a brand new beginning. Xian 3 days. I'm really looking forward to it. Xiao Yang muttered to himself. The few people on the side also saw Xiao Yang and the others were so arrogant and their blood was boiling. They all had different looks in their eyes. Obviously, they had already made plans in their hearts. In Xuantian's highest place, a figure with a long sword on his back also stood on it. The mountains here are dangerous, the mountains are high, the wild beasts are frequent in the mountains, and there are few people. It is a desolate place. But at the same time, it is also an extremely suitable place for cultivation. Are you all ready? The figure with the long sword on his back also said softly to the void. It's all ready, just wait for the people who do to lead to arrive, and then we can start. A respectful voice also twisted from the space and an old man in white appeared. That's good. Go down. The figure with the long sword on his back also said. Yes. The void space twisted and disappeared. The ghost world, the passage between the devil world and my Xian Santian, seems to have some different movements recently. I hope there will be some talented seedlings in this selection, otherwise my Wan Jianmen will want to. He said that he didn't continue talking here. Xiantian Santian is the place with the largest population and the most powerful people on the Xianling continent. It is also the place with the most fertile land and resources. Because in these countless years, Xian Santian has nurtured countless children of the heavens. Some of them have become overlords and established factions. However, with the invasion of some natural disasters or small-scale wars in other parts of the Xianling continent, some people have also been destroyed. After all, this is the place where the powerhouses of the Xianling continent gather. It is also possible to find Dao shelter here, and then multiply in the city. Therefore, there are also some villages and small families with relatively few people. Most of them are attached to Xian San. Under the super sect of the sky, there are some exceptions to be self-sufficient. Xian Santian is mostly a mountain range full of emperor energy. Every mountain is huge, and there are many legends of all kinds within the mountain, such as the love between people and ghosts, and the 3 lives and 3 generations are continuing their love. In the mountains of these peaks, in addition to the presence of monsters, there are also hidden ghosts and ghosts who broke through the seal and entered Daoxian 3 days before, and participated in the attack on Xiantian 3 days. They escaped by luck when they were sealed, but even so, they didn't dare to provoke human beings too much. After all, if they angered those powerhouses within Xian Santian, their fate would also be. However, although these monsters dare not provoke any super sects, they have caused huge damage to ordinary people. After all, most of the ordinary people are of the fighting scent level and their aptitude is mediocre. It is quite difficult to deal with these powerful monsters, so for the sake of safety, some people built mountain temples around the mountains to seek the protection of the mountain gods. Years have passed, and there are more and more mountain temples in the mountains. Perhaps the mountain gods have sensed the will of the people and thus show their power. In the past 100 years, the people on this land have rarely had accidents. Respect is amazing. In this regard, the super sects within the 3 days of Xian are also helpless. Although they have sent a lot of manpower and material resources to encircle and suppress the remaining demons, ghosts, and monsters, I don't know why they can always cleverly avoid the encirclement and suppression, so this is also a problem that plagues the super sect's big problem. In addition, Zhuangtianshan is also a blessed land. Each mountain has some secrets. It is rumored that each mountain has its own beautiful legend. In general, Xian Santian can be summed up as 100,000 mountains. But in addition, there are still some unknown wild places, just where it belongs to the restricted area of human beings. Even though there are rumors that there are many treasures, but the strong people around the world do not dare to set foot easily. After all, the information about the wild places is also too rare. Treasure and life are obviously more important than the latter. This is Xian 3 days. The ferry also landed slowly on a flat lay. It's here, come with me. Hudu also opened his eyes and said, "Is this Xian Santian?" Xiao Yan also muttered to himself. This is the outermost part of Xiantian San, but the final destination of the people we are in charge of receiving and guiding will all come here, and people from the 9 super sects will be jointly responsible for a series of tests and selections. Only those who meet the standards will be selected. It is possible to enter the Xiantian Santian to join the super sect, and if we fail, we can only return you to the same path. After speaking, he waved his hand, and a group of fighting chi was at the feet of the 9 people, following the leadership of Hudu, toward the ground slowly descended. The 9 people sitting cross-legged on the Do Chi light group also lit up with curiosity. Obviously, they all felt the strong Do Chi, and the 7 cities where they were located were countless times stronger. The Do Chi in the 7 major cities can also be called Emperor Chi, but its concentration is only a little stronger than the Do Chi on the Do Chi continent, so it is no wonder that a few people are so curious when they feel this strong Emperor Chi. Because based on their perception, they naturally knew that if they could absorb this rich imperial energy for a long time, it would be of great benefit to their cultivation. The crowd slowly descended on Hudu's Do Chi light group. During the process of their whereabouts, they suddenly discovered that they were looking into the distance from the place where they landed. Pieces of rolling mountain peaks rise and fall one after another. The trees in the peaks stand tall like giants in the sky, and the clouds and mists are like a fairyland on earth. Taking a closer look, the mist-like white gas seems to form a natural protective layer, slowly surrounding these mountains. In the mountains, you can also see some looming buildings. Presumably these buildings are sects. Xiao Yan also exuded the power of his soul and felt it carefully, and slowly he felt a lot of powerful aura from these mountains. Even the head of the Yu family, Yu, and the envoy Hoodoo in front of him were jumping off the beam in front of him. The clown is general, and there are some extremely obscure breaths looming. It is indeed the place where the powerhouses of the mysterious spirit continent gather. Xiao Yan also sighed involuntarily. Ha ha ha, that's natural. Hoodoo also appreciated Xiao Yan, so he responded. Senior, what is this white mist, and my soul power doesn't seem to be able to sense it. Liu Yin was obviously also curious, and the little cold on her shoulders also exuded a look of joy. Get excited. These white mists are the restrictions of various mountain peaks. Under the restrictions, no matter how powerful you are also prohibited from flying and stepping in the air. So all areas in Xiantiansan have a strong restriction. First, these mountains are the location of some sects, in order to protect some of their little-known secrets, even though the sect is not famous, but there is still some background, and secondly, it is also to resist the invasion of monsters. After all, Xiansan the sky is a very fertile land, and it has made many monsters. Jealous. And every year, there are monsters and monsters that endanger some places. So in Xiansan 3 days, compared with the monsters and monsters, the monsters and monsters are obviously more disgusting. Hoodoo also said, obviously he also has a grudge against these monsters and monsters. Okay, let's go to the test now. After the test, we can rest for a few days. After a few days, it will be the so-called selection. I don't know how many people will be in your group this time. Hoodoo also saw what Liu Yin was about to ask, and stopped him. Hearing this, several people also nodded their heads. Although they were not in control of the ferry, the month-long journey also made them physically and mentally exhausted, but this was also true for Do-D powerhouses. Does not affect the test at all. A few people were still in the air, and Xiao Yang was sharp-eyed. On the flat ground where their ferry was docked, a figure in blue clothes with the word puppet appeared early, as if he was waiting for them. I don't know what happened this afternoon, but the power was cut off all of a sudden at home, and the mobile phone couldn't connect to the internet. I'm really sorry. Next, I will take you to test your talents. It's up to you to decide how many talents you can classify. After speaking, he looked at Xiao Yang with great interest. As soon as Hoodoo's voice fell, the Do-Chi light group riding on the 9 people slowly landed on the ground. As soon as everyone reached the ground, they immediately got up and stretched out. Who would have expected that when he turned his head, he saw a huge square 1,000 meters away, and behind the square were some quite exquisite buildings. Whether it was the square or the side of the building, there were some well-trained soldiers guarding it. Seeing this heavily guarded place, Xiao Yang didn't look too hard. Master Hu has worked hard. Master Hu, let's go and rest. It's just fine for these people to take it for the test. Watching Hoodoo and the 9 people slowly descend to the ground, the man who was standing on the ground wearing the word puppet in his clothes respectfully faced Hoodoo Dao. No, it just so happens that I have to go too, let's go together. Hoodoo also refused. On the one hand, there are people among these people who need his special attention. He also wants to know what kind of talent this Xiao Yang can be rated, and the third rank should be reluctant. But even if it is a third-class talent, he can get a lot of benefits. On the other hand, Hoodoo was also worried. After all, he still had some right to speak here. If something happened to the two of them, he wouldn't be able to explain it to Yu. After all, the two had a deadly friendship. Yeah. The man wearing the word puppet also replied softly, and then led the way in front. This is the senior brother of the puppet mansion who is in charge of taking your test, and his name is Mo Chen. At a young age, he has reached the strength of a 4-star Do-Di, and his ability to manipulate puppets with one hand is not weak. Hudu also introduced to everyone. Hello, senior brother Mo. Several people present also said respectfully. After all, when you first came to the ramp, you must have some etiquette. Xiao Yan also discovered that although Mo Chen's strength is only in the early stage of the 4-star Do Di, it is easy for him to deal with it, but he is a puppet mansion, after all. It also felt quite exhausting. After all, since this puppet technique is stronger than his master, the Golden Dragon King, he is also highly praised. Mo Chen took the lead, Hudu was behind, Xiao Yang and the others followed them towards the huge square. Master Hu, you are already the last batch of people who have been picked up here, and all the people who have been picked up from other places have been tested until yesterday. Mo Chen also said. Hey, there's no way. After all, it's on the edge of our Xianling continent. It's to be expected that the back and forth will take a long time. Hudu also laughed. Master Hu has found a good seedling this time. Mo Chen also joked. Because everyone knows that picking up messengers is a tiring job, not to mention the boring time of going back and forth. On the way to pick up and lead, if you encounter some people with bad intentions attacking, it will not be worth the loss. However, as a price, as long as the envoy can find a disciple with third-class talent, the sect that the disciple joins in the future will also give the envoy some considerable compensation. Are you a good seedling? There are just a few. He also looked at the 9 people behind him, and laughed. How many people are there in our contact point this time? How many people are talented? Hudu also suddenly remembered and asked. This? Mo Chen couldn't help being speechless when Hudu asked this question. This is some secret that can't be said. I really blame myself for this. However, the relationship between Uncle Hudu and the person in charge of our contact point seems to be good. I forgot all about it, I can't say it. Hudu also looked at Mo Chen and said. Neither. Our takeover test site this time is divided into 36, and we are one of them. According to the statistics of yesterday, the total number of people who came here is 1,361. There are a total of 1,300 people who have passed the talent test. It is strange to say that there are 61 people who disappeared out of thin air. This can make the person in charge of our stronghold anxious. After all, our people can come here when they see it with their own eyes. I got off the ferry and walked towards the test site in the square, but I didn't find these 61 people. Mo Chen also frowned, obviously this matter bothered them. This is a test and selection competition organized by the 9 super sects in the Xiantian 3 days. Whoever eats the guts of the bear heart and leopard will not dare to be arrogant here, let alone grab it out of thin air in this heavily guarded stronghold and come to join the sect disciple. After all, the Do Di continent is an upper plane, and it is not comparable to the Do Chi continent. If a Do Di powerhouse wants to break open space out of thin air, it is only necessary to reach the 6-star Do Di and above. Huh? How come? I remember this kind of thing never happened before. Hudu also began to ponder. Because 61 people were missing, it was enough to show the importance of this matter. Hey, how can there be some residual aura similar to the ghosts in the ghost world? Although it is very weak, it seems that it has been covered up by people. Just when Xiao Yan heard that Mo Chen said that 61 people were missing, in the ring, his master Jinlong also said suddenly and quietly. When Xiao Yan heard what his master Jinlong King said, he also rolled his eyes thoughtfully, and then followed Mo Chen and Hudu and walked towards the back of the square. Yu, who was on the side, passed by the place Xiao Yang had just had, and was suddenly dizzy, and then the mysterious rune on her forehead slowly emitted an inconspicuous light. Xiao Yang also kept an eye on Yueru's state at all times, and just felt that something was wrong with Yueru, and before she could ask any more questions, Yueru fell to the ground as if she had collapsed. To say that it is late is fast. Xiao Yang, who has a quick eye and a quick hand, supports Yu and doesn't care about other things. The gentle power in his body is transmitted to Yu's body. After Xiao Yang's gentle power within her body, Yu's beautiful eyes moved slightly, and then she was dripping with sweat. Are you all right? Xiao Yang also said solemnly, obviously not knowing what happened to Yueru. It's all right, I just suddenly lost my strength for no apparent reason. I'm much better now. Yueru also said. Then Yueru also saw Xiao Yan's one hand supporting her shoulder, the other hand sending gentle power from her lower abdomen, so Yueru turned red without even passing through her ears. It's fine, Tilda, I'll help you go. Xiao Yan also looked at the tired Yu and said. Yeah. Yueru also said softly. Oh, it's actually an automatic protector. It seems that the power of inheritance on this girl is really extraordinary. But looking at the power of inheritance, as I expected, it should be a life and death enemy with that ghost world. The Golden Dragon King also said to himself when he discovered Yueru's sudden voluminous mark. Have you reported to the above? Hudu obviously realized the importance of the matter, and his tone of speech changed. No? It was suppressed by our person in charge. Mo Chen was also frightened by this sudden momentum. Who is the person in charge here? Immediately. Take me to see him immediately. Hudu also shouted loudly, and then scolded him. This is a joke about other people's lives. Yes, it's your senior brother Fu Yi. Mo Chen quickly agreed. Fu Yi, take me to see him. What about these people? Go together. After the two of them finished speaking, they speeded up and walked towards an exquisite room at the back of the square. When everyone in the back heard the words, they also knew the importance of the matter and immediately followed. This video will end here.